you doing today? Good. Wait for the moment when she realizes what's going on. Oh, good girl. What a good girl. Oh. That's a sweetie. That's a sweetie. Oh, yes, she's a good girl. There it goes. Good. Here's a treat for her.
River, come. Come here. Not everything. Come here.
It's okay, we'll give her a moment to explore and get settled in.
Good girl.
There we go. So what we'll go over today is a little bit of what you saw in the video, and then since we're at the dog park, we'll also do a little bit of like how to socially evaluate her and work with her. We'll kind of let her get some energy out right now. She's so excited. Which would be another kind of important thing to do too. That'll help with the training as well. Kind of letting her get her zoomies out. Usually in the mornings, we'll start either with a long hike and then some recall work. And she's always really good with that. I have a couple tools on the way. She'll hopefully be here in a couple days or so. And that'll help with her social work and some more of her leash work. But we can at least get started on what we've been working on in the basics for now. Good girl. As soon as the other dogs would approach her and she wouldn't growl or take notice, a lot of it sometimes really subtle signs. I'll know that a dog is really anxious when they'll be laying down on the sofa or something with you, and then the other dog just gets up and starts moving around, and they'll immediately focus on them, right? And just pay attention to them more, kind of fixate. Whenever they stop doing that is a good opportunity, that's like a good sign that they're actually getting comfortable and more used to them.
Napping, was she trying to tell her leave her alone, or was that playing?
That was playing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like she wants to play, but she's still not too sure, comfortable, So it's
water.
But it's a good way that the two can kind of like communicate when she's less scared, about like that personal space and boundaries and things like that. Usually these things are easier done when they're puppies, and they can't do as much damage to one another, and they kind of learn those social skills. But because she's bigger now, and more fearful, more intense, more fearful, all those things, you just have to kind of give it more time, and a lot of it too, since my pack is having the right temperament and demeanor, it's up to you. Whoop. So, because you can see the pups are coming, what we're going to do at first is create some more space. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Good. Hi, everyone. the rope harness that I'm offering, as well as with the training test, so it's not just pulling on her coat. It'll do, because mostly want to avoid overreactions anyways, but we want to still give exposure, right? So as soon as she kind of stops fixating and being outside where it's really well, it's distracted by like the grass, it's not usually easy. Most of the time the pulling is just because she can barely not get to something that she's interested in.
Right.
And so...
What are you doing?
Good girl. It's the same thing. Come. Come on. And another good reason why you'll want wide open spaces like this too is so that way you can easily run out that energy too. Because what ends up happening is, good girl, very good. Yes. Very good. I know. And you can kind of see like the further away that you are at first, the easier it is to redirect her. And that's a good starting point. The main thing with her is before we can get her used to other dogs, we have to get her kind of used to not overreacting and getting too hyped up when seeing energy. And so we're kind of just desensitizing her to seeing other pups just by letting her see them at a distance and get distracted. And even better is when she redirects back to us, you know, to calm down or get a treat or something like that. So if you have good areas that you can kind of use a leash like this where she can run around but you can still have control of her, you can shorten it, lock it if you need. You want to go ahead and call her back.
River, come here.
Good girl. Perfect. But like areas where you know like dogs will be attracted, like around dog parks.
I have a private beach in my neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
So most of the time I have her. It's usually just us down there, but like if I see a dog and then we usually just
Gotcha. So it'll be a good change of pace for you and her because you'll want to be doing kind of the opposite. You want to be staying and exposing as much as possible. The main thing with her too is like, and why this area is pretty good. Example is just the fact that like, I know people will be coming and going over there in the dog park with their dogs. At the same time, we have all this space over here to let her kind of run out that excitement and energy. Because what happens is between meeting a pup, she gets hyped up, and if you aren't able to calm her down between intervals, that energy kind of transfers to the next situation, right? Good girl. Very good. Good girl. There you go. A lot of times what people will do instead is try to like stop the dog, you know, get him to sit still and things like that. and that can make things even harder for her. Whereas if she can kind of have a release that anxiety or that energy by running around and smelling things, just getting distracted by other things, it makes it almost easier. So the goal here is for her to see the other pup, but then redirect back to us. So go ahead and call her.
River, come, River.
That's okay. The thing is that we're getting distracted by smells. The main thing that we want to avoid is that constant fixation, because that's what she'll usually ramp up. Good. Say hi. So what I'll do is just kind of walk along the fence line so that way she can see the dogs running and playing, and then move back as necessary. Good girl.
River.
Good girl. Very good. Good girl. And what you want to observe is like her body language. You kind of see how she kind of goes from running around and being excited and moves to like kind of anxious, slowed down, and tight. It's that uncertainty, that change in the body language that you want to take. This is good because now she can kind of smell. Usual. Sometimes the fence can actually make things worse too. It just depends on the pup. But right now, she's just exploring, getting distracted by the smells, certainly not the pups. These pups too, with their calmer demeanor, they're not barking at her, you know. That makes things a lot easier as well. And that's where like the temperament of the dogs that you introduce her to is gonna actually play a big part in how long it takes for you to, or for her to get used to everything. It's good because they're curious, right? This is a good sign. Like the fact that she was still nervous and kind of slowed down a lot shows that she's not completely comfortable with the situation, but she's not uncomfortable with the situation to the point where she's gonna like growl and ask for space and overreact and things like that, right? So this is really good. I know. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. And this is a good safe way that you can kind of get her socialized a little bit. I have her muzzle on her too, and these pups are doing well, so we might go in. We might not. We'll kind of see. The good part about like being in your neighborhood too is being able to socialize and communicate with the other pet parents. And so what I would do normally in this case, if I was here working with her, is I would stay out here and maybe have my girlfriend go in and talk to the pet parents, be like, hey, this is whoever we're working on her. She can be very sweet and playful, but at the same time unsure and scared. So, you know, talk them through, let them know about her, see how comfortable they are with the situation. And that's another good way to tell too, because they'll be like, oh, well, my dog doesn't really like other dogs barking or snapping at them, so, you know, would probably not be the best best scenario for her right in there. So that way you get as much information about a situation as possible before going in, whenever possible. And like I said, even work like this is good for her too. So that way when she sees release the dog, she gets excited. You still get that practice redirecting her. This way. Good girl. Oh, good. So she met the other two right now. We'll see if she does well with meeting the other one on the fence line. And if she does well, you know, at this point, then I would put the muzzle on and then have her go in on the leash, you know, cautiously, still paying attention, being able to kind of pull her away from situations if necessary, or working with the other pet parents, so that way they can, you know, be ready to control their pup too if they pick her up. There we go. Hi. The best time to go to a dog park is right before it gets busy or right after. Mostly before is really good because especially if you can come in when there are no dogs here and you can kind of be outside and they can meet one another face to face at first through the fence and everything, and then go in, then that would be good. And then as a new pup comes in, you go back out, do the same thing, and then rinse and repeat. Whereas the worst time to go would be like the opposite. Like at this place, it'd be like 4 or 5 in the afternoon when there's like 20 dogs in there. Like everybody's gonna be rushing the gate. It's gonna be overwhelming for her, you know, all that stuff. So you'll want to try to take things as slow for her as possible, and you can just do that by being mindful of the time and location. You know, you can take the same location, just come in at a different time, and it could be a much better for her. Oh, residents of the town. Hi, how you doing? It's the same thing here. Since we know that they're going to go that way, we're going to go back this way. Good girl. There you go. Here, I'll give you a couple treats to give to her as well. So you want her to see the pup and then refocus back on you?
River.
Good girl. Perfect. So that situation that you can see right there, if that happened to River, it would probably not end up very well, right? Because she's already scared, and the other dog might just want to play, you know, but it just wouldn't be compatible with her. See? They might want to play, they might just play like that, they might just be uncertain of the other pups, all those things. And that's why it's really important that you take your time before entering to evaluate each pup whatever it is, so that way you get a better read on the situation. And it's not because a pup isn't good or whatnot with other dogs. It's just that every dog is going to be different with every dog. You know, it might be the size of the dog, shape, fluff, all that stuff. Age. Puppies usually get the brunt of it sometimes, just because of their lack of social skills and their enthusiasm and energy and things like that. And you know, that's okay because you want puppies to get corrected by other dogs when they're being too much and in their face and things like that. So it's all things that you just want to like keep in mind and work with. Like if you saw that happen, it doesn't mean that you have to like come back another day. It would mean that you would just spend more time on this side of the fence getting it would be actually a really good opportunity for her in that case. Kind of like with Maya, for example. She's really good, she's really sweet with other dogs and everything, but she's too much for River. So you get the opportunity to get her used to that. Like another dog that may be scared or snappy, you get her used to dogs that are scared or snappy. So that way she's less reactive. So you want to just try to take as many good opportunities as you can. See how she does with this fluffy one, and then we'll probably switch to another training activity. I want to try to cover as many things as possible for you. at least a little bit, and then we can go into like finer details on like future sessions together or something. Do you have any questions so far on it? And if they're not coming to the fence line, you could always go in the holding area as well. I would just be mindful, because if you're in there and they're smelling each other, things are going on, then another pup comes in, then that might make an awkward situation, because then you have you have to either put on the muzzle and go in, or put on the muzzle and go out. So it's not something that you have to avoid, but just be mindful of. Just like when you're in there already, you could be good with those 2 or 3 pups, but then like with that last pup, the big white one comes in, and bigger dogs tend to be a little bit more off-putting to other dogs if you start used to them. Poor pup Fiona is a good example of that, right? She's like a big Great Dane Mastiff mix. She's very loud, very playful.
Is that your dog?
She's pretty much, yeah. She was a foster, but yeah. But just her size and her sound alone.
And that my
enough.
best friend, she has a French Mastiff.
That's awesome.
Huge, and it's scared to death of Ripper.
Aww.
But I can have them together now.
That's good.
But because Ripper, like that snapping, that's what she does, and she kind of just avoids. Like they'll chase each other, but
that's good.
She knows her distance.
That's good. Here, let's see if we can meet the white dog at the fence, and then if that goes well, since there's only the 2 of them in there, we can put her muzzle on and see how she does. And especially for the longest time, since she's still getting used to pups and learning social skills, I would highly recommend that you always have the muzzle, just because you saw how long it can take for her to get used to things. And the last thing you want to do is kind of let your guard down, because she's used to them for a moment, but then they get possessive over a ball that they're playing with or something like that. So you just want to have ample time to go through as many situations and scenarios with that safety net on before, you just kind of let her go. Usually this would draw them to her, but she's not coming by. It's good though. She's not too fixated on me. Just a little interesting. Aw, good girl. Do you want to take the muzzle out of my backpack? It's the long zipper next to the water bottle, like going vertical. Sorry. Yep. And then this will get you used to putting it on for her as well. And yeah, this just goes on her right side. So that one. Other way. Yeah, perfect. There you go. And then it just clips behind the ears. Perfect.
Oh, yes, that's a lot better than a hard one.
And listen, I would normally have her
So should we go and talk to the other owners first, or are we just going in?
go in together just because I think it'll be okay. And the reason why I took her off the leash is because this is like one of the longer ones that can get tangled up, and then that can also cause conflict too. You want to practice talking and meeting people? Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How you guys doing? This is River. She's really sweet, but she's trying to get used to other dogs because she gets scared.
Oh,
But once she does, she's okay. That's why she has the muzzle on.
It's a good one to play with him. He's real. So
Yeah, they got along well against the fence, so that's why I figured it'd be okay.
easy rub.
Good girl.
There.
And you kind of see when I got close, she redirected back to me, and that's just from all the practice with my her earlier. Right? Good girl. Good girl.
It's like you. Maybe not. Rub easy. Rub.
Well, hi, Fluffy. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. And that's why you want that continued practice, and you want to be that positive, like comforting figure for her. So that way she turns to you when she's uncomfortable with a situation like this, and then you can help her out a little bit more. Right? So there she's just asking for some space because she's not sure. She's trying to smell the dog to get used to him. So that's okay. Good. And the dog listened really well by kind of moving away from her. Which part of the problem why she took so long with Maya is because she was that energetic puppy that would ignore the growling and keep going, you know? So that's why like the different temperaments of the dog will, you know, really affect how well she does. She's doing good though. Good girl, you're doing so good. There you go, good girl. What kind of pup is the white pup?
Having a good day.
What kind of? Yes. Ah, okay.
Go say hi.
It's beautiful.
Go say hi.
I had a husky named Sasha. There you go. And you can adjust it so that way, you know, she can fit things, and she should be able to drink and pant and everything, just like with the other one. She just can't fully stand and, you know. Now remember, while you're in here, it's going to be difficult. It'll be good if you have multiple people with you, because you'll want one person constantly monitoring her,
Okay.
and another person at least checking in every now and then to see if anybody's coming. Because a lot of times conflicts can arise at the gates when pups come in, because usually it's a high energy kind of area.
River, no. River.
She gonna dig her way out. Oh, she's trying to find a hiding spot, huh? Good girl. You kind of see her body language is really good right now. She's very relaxed, playful. It's good. Perfect. That's how you can safely socialize her. Have any questions before I cut off the recording before the next one? Cool. Mm-hmm. And then play. Perfect. There you go. There you go. Now this time ask her to stay.
Stay.
And I'll take this for you. And this is a good partner exercise. So when your partner is working with you, you don't want to have to hold her there the whole time. But the leash is good because you can hold it temporarily in case she's thinking of moving, but then let it go when you need to. So ask her to stay and then give her another treat.
Stay.
And ask her to stay again.
Stay.
Now take a couple steps back. And you see right there when she thought about moving, that's when you would reiterate the stay. And your partner may have to help you out or not, but you want to try to get her to stay on your own and then take another step back.
Stay.
Good, now this time, there you go. Good, and now that I'm not holding her, go ahead and release her teeth for the treat. It's okay, we'll try again. You kind of get the idea? And that really helps with her listening and input control. Okay, so go ahead and start.
River, play. Play. River. River, play.
Very good girl. There you go. All right.
Stay. Sit. Stay. Stay. Stay.
So it's really important that you pay close attention to her. So that way, as soon as you think that she's about to move, you can ask her to stay and your partner can help again. So we'll try one more time.
Place. Place. Good girl. Stay. Stay.
Good. Right there. Now take one more step and ask her to stay again.
Stay.
Then release her whenever you're ready. Perfect. Good girl.
Stay. Stay. Stay.
It's okay. Through the magic of video editing, it took a lot more, took a lot of tries yesterday, let's just say that.
River. Right here.
There you go. Alright, so let's try again. Let's have her place this time.
Place. Stay.
And this is where your partner will come in. And this is a good idea to lock it, but keep it loose.
Stay. Stay.
It's okay, try again.
Place. Place. Stay. Stay.
Now this time slowly drop it and ask her.
Stay. Stay.
Perfect. Can you see how she looked at you that time? Good. Now reinforce the stay one more time.
Stay.
So you haven't asked her to take it yet, and then you can ask her to take it whenever you're ready.
Take it.
Perfect. Good girl. Okay. And you kind of see how having a spotter helps. You can
Right.
still do it solo like I did. It's just a little harder. You just have to be really patient and really mindful. That's all. And then I just kind of let her run around and play for a little bit. So with stay, there's generally three things that you can work on is the distance. So the further you are while she's staying still, the duration. So you can only take a couple steps back, but you can still have her stay there for like an extended period of time, maybe like 10 to 20 seconds. And then if she does well, 20 to 30 seconds, and then a minute, you know, things like that, and then releasing. And then distractions, which is this last one that we're working on. So different things that you can all practice at home, and all of those things are going to really help to solidify her stay and then and then her release behavior.
Okay.
Okay? You want to do it one more time?
Right here. Drop it. River. Drop.
And be careful not to do that, remember.
River. Drop. Good girl.
That's how people will always get hurt, is when they try to just grab the rope.
Stay. Stay.
So you want to watch your partner in the leash, right?
Stay.
So it's loose, it's tight.
Stay.
It's loose means that she's staying on her own.
Stay. 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 Stay.
Almost. Go ahead and reset.
Come here. River, come.
Good girl.
Good girl. Place. Place.
Go ahead and give her a treat in between commands too, to help reinforce each stage.
Stay. 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 Were you pulling her?
Yeah, a little bit. So careful not to touch the rope, because you would have gotten burned a couple times there. Alright, try one more time. There you go. And I have a 50-foot leash that I could use as well for exercises like this. So that would be good, so then she wouldn't have to worry about it retracting or anything, but you just have to handle it like a long leash.
Stay.
Now you stay close, but then you slowly drop it. Okay.
Stay. 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 Stay.
Reinforce it.
Stay. Stay.
So too long, right? So she stayed for a moment, but then she didn't continue staying. So the duration part of the stay was the problem there. She stayed through the distraction, but because the duration part wasn't developed enough, she released early. Want to give it one more shot?
Place. Stay. Stay.
So go ahead and give her truths in between commands, like when she when she places, when she stays, all those things. Okay? And then have her focus on you instead of the item, because that's what's happening a lot of the times.
Wherever place. Play. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Stay. Stay. Girl. Stay. Stay.
Good.
Stay. Stay. Stay.
Good. Almost.
Stay.
Good. Now have her look at you,
Stay.
and then I'll slowly drop it and try to get her attention.
Stay.
Perfect.
Stay.
There it is.
Good girl.
And now release her.
Get it.
Perfect. There you go. It's a lot harder than it seems sometimes, right? Like I said, we took a lot of takes and a lot of practice. But that's why I like working with the clients too, because they'll have certain difficulties either by the way that you're doing it, or just the fact that you just need some more practice and some guidance. So if you're ever having difficulties too, what you could do is I would record myself, or you can have your partner watch you and see like if they have success with something but you're having troubles, what the differences are. And so that way you guys can coach one another. That's all. Right there.
Good girl.
Very good. Perfect.
Good girl.
Perfect. There you go. Good. So she's learning to work through those distractions when she feels the pressure on the leash to redirect back to you, as opposed to just continuously pulling to get to something that she wants. Now, if it's on your way, and you want to wait for her, and you want her to, sniff stuff, things like that, take toys, then that's on now your control, as opposed to the other way around, And that's why it's really important when you're walking her that you're intentionally leading her somewhere. Do you need the break to take it? Okay. All right, so this will be good, right? Good girl, there you go. All right. Now, when the leash gets about half length out or a little bit longer than a regular length, go ahead and lock it there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And now start walking in the right direction. If you push up on the little one, there you go. Perfect. Good girl, you can go ahead and give her a treat. Anytime that she refocuses, and especially when she's near me, I always give her a treat as well. Because the more that she's next to you and the more that she's focused on you like that, the easier your walk's gonna be. That was good. Very good. Right there, good. Perfect. If you need to, you can take a moment to untangle. There you go. a very playful pup, isn't she? Very good. All right, now she's gonna overshoot. Perfect.
Good girl.
Very good. Good. And then when the leash goes loose, then you can walk. Good. And if you need to, because that item is so close to you, you can redirect your focus to the next one and start walking. So the main thing is for you to have a goal to reach, and if she gets too far, there you go. Good.
Girl.
You don't have to pull back anything extra, but that's okay. It's a hard habit to break. There you go. Very good. There you go. Good. We want to try to make the walk as easy for you as possible. We let the leash do most of the work.
Girl.
There you go. Good. And then it's just up to you to guide her to where she wants to go. So as soon as the leash is loose, then you can start going. Perfect. The problem is, like, when we stop too much to focus on what she's distracted by or that she's going the wrong way, then nobody's leading again. And it's really us leading her somewhere that actually helps her to focus. Because it's like, oh, mom's going somewhere. Am I going the right way? Am I too far? Good girl. Very good. All right, and then go ahead and ask her to sit and wait for you. Good. Very good. Perfect. Good. And it's this kind of exercise that helps people to not build a reliance on tools, right? Because you're constantly working with her to not activate or not have to use a device. There you go. Good. Go ahead and randomly move to each spot too to kind of switch things up for her.
Like, go to the
Mhm. Good, there you go. Right there, good. Very good. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Good. Do you have any questions on anything? Awesome. She's definitely a good learner.